Yes, students, we are going to start chapter D and F block elements. Okay, we studied P block elements. Now D block elements, they are also known as transition elements, and we have to study 3D series, 4D series, and 5D series. 3D series, it will mean the fourth period, first D block elements. So we have to study 3D series, then 4D series, and 5D series, and the elements will be in the period 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. The D block and F block elements, it will be in this period. So first let us come to the 3D series. What are the elements? Scandium, titanium, vanadium, then chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, and copper and zinc. Okay. Then 4D series, it is yttrium, zirconium, niobium, molybdenum, technetium, then ruthenium, rhodium, palladium, silver, cadmium. So these elements are in the 4D series. Then 5D series, lanthanum, then hafnium, Ta, then tungsten, don't remember this formula, the name, then Re, osmium, iridium, platinum, gold, and mercury. So the atomic number, it starts from 57, then 72 to 80. After 57 you will have the F block elements, and we will call it as lanthanoids. That will study later in the F block elements. So these are the elements, and in the 3D series it starts from 21 and goes up to 30. 10 elements, D block element, the D shell can accumulate how many? 10 electrons, so 10 elements will be there in each series. Okay. Then this 3D series, the general configuration of these elements is what? Ns 1 to 2 electrons, then N minus 1 D 1 to 10 electrons, and that's all. So in the 3D series, what will be the electronic configuration? 3D 1 to 10 and 4s 1 to 2. This will be the general configuration of 3D series. Elements are Sc, scandium, then titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, and zinc. Okay. So the atomic number is from 21 to 30. So the electrons that are filled will be 3d1, then 3d2, and so on, 3d2, 3d3, and some of the elements they have are exception. You know that in this you have what? 3d5, 4s1, and here 3d 10 4s1. This exception you know in case of copper and chromium we have studied before also. Okay. Copper, silver and gold, they are called as coinage metals. Then you have zinc, cadmium and mercury in group 12. These elements are known as pseudo transition elements. Why it's important? In this annual examination, that is the board exam, this question was asked. Why the zinc, cadmium and mercury are not considered as transition elements, though it is kept in that? So the reason is that though it come in D block but are not called transition elements because they have completely filled D orbitals. First reason is that they have completely filled D orbitals. Okay. So they do not show the properties of the D block elements and therefore they are not considered as D block elements, though it is kept in this group, that is in the transition elements. I hope you have understood this. So it is an important question, give reason question. Okay. Now let us see the properties of the D block elements. First, atomic radius. Atomic radius. So from left to right, if you see in the 3D series, if you go from left to right, what happens? The atomic radii, it decreases gradually. So why? Because in the electron in 3D series it is increasing, and due to this the inner electrons also is increasing. So due to the filling of the inner electrons of the d orbitals, the screening effect also increases. This you have studied. But when you go from left to right, what happens? There is increase in the number of d electrons, but the screening effect will decrease now because we are going from left to right, not from top to bottom. In a period you are moving. So what happens? The effective nuclear charge will decreases, and therefore, so this screening effect also what? It decreases, and the effective nuclear charge decreases, and therefore the size decreases. Okay. Then what about the electronegativity? So when the size decreases, the effective nuclear charge, more effective nuclear charge dominating the screening effect, and that is from scandium to manganese. The size decreases as screening effect is dominating the effective nuclear charge is dominating the screening effect. Okay. Then Then next, atomic size of zinc is greater than copper. Why? This we can easily explain that it is having completely filled orbitals, and thus the nuclear charge is atomic radius of copper decreases, and then the copper is less as compared to zinc. Why? Because the nuclear charge dominates the screening effect in case of the copper as compared to zinc. Okay. In the 3D series, if you see that scandium and titanium, the atomic radius decreases. Then if you go to manganese, then iron, cobalt and nickel, the radius nearly remains constant. And then when you go to copper and zinc, you see that it slightly increases. So this is the trend from left to right in the 3D series. Okay. So how can you define this? The atomic radius decreases because the nuclear charge dominates. Here it is means both the effective charge and the screening effect, it almost balances with each other, therefore there is no much change in the atomic size. Then when you go to copper and zinc, you see that the electron repulsion dominates, and thus the copper is having more size as compared to iron. So here repulsion dominates. Or you can also, one more thing you can say, that when you go from 4D and 5D, suppose, what happens, these two means the fourth period and fifth period, 4D and 5D, they have almost same size. When you go from top to bottom, it must increase here, but it has almost same size. So this is due to the lanthanide contraction that you will study in the lanthanoids. Okay. That you will study in lanthanoids. Now next property, we will see that it is density. Density. D block elements are more denser as compared to the S block elements, that is from left to right. The density of the 3D series increases, that is they are in group 3 to 11, scandium to copper, and in fourth period. So when you go from left to right, that what you will see that the density it increases. Now individually, if you see that it is increasing, but when you come to group 12, that is zinc, here what happens, the density of the zinc decreases. This is due to the larger size, zinc has larger size. So here this is the exception, zinc is the exception here. We have seen that zinc is more greater in larger in size as compared to copper. So density will decrease. Okay. Volume increases, density decreases. Density of zinc is lower than copper, whereas zinc size is more than copper. Okay. Now zinc, cadmium and mercury, they are all soft metals. Why? Because they have low density. Mercury is a liquid and also less denser. The most denser element, or you can say the elements with higher density, the highest density is osmium and indium. These two elements is having the highest density. You must remember this. Osmium and indium are the two elements having highest density. Okay. Then if you see the general properties, you will see that the d block elements, they contain what? Metals. They are malleable and ductile. You know the meaning of these things. Malleable means drawn into thin sheet, ductile means drawn into wires. Then you know means whatever the properties of the metals, that is the properties of the d block elements, sonorous, high thermal and electrical conductivity, then it is lustrous, means you can see all the properties of the metals is there. Okay. Now next property is ionization energy. Ionization energy. Energy required to remove from an isolated atom is known as ionization energy. You know that. So what you see from left to right, that the atomic radius is decreasing, है ना? Atomic number increases but size decreases. And you know that ionization energy is directly inversely proportional to size. So here size is decreasing, so ionization energy will what happen? It increases. Okay. In this 3D series, cadmium, zinc, and mercury, these three elements have highest ionization energy. Why? Because it is having fulfilled orbitals. And in zinc you have 3d10 4s2, in cadmium you have 4d10 5s2, in mercury you have 5d10 6s2. So all these are having completely fully filled orbitals, and therefore it shows highest ionization energy. Okay. Now if you compare the chromium and manganese and copper and zinc, okay, its ionization energy, second ionization energy, chromium is having more and copper is having more. Why? In chromium you have the configuration 3d5 4s1. So if you remove this, then that is will be the first ionization energy. Now to remove the second electron, that is, you have to remove it from the one which is having half filled orbital, so it will require more energy. Whereas in case of Mn, what you see that it is 3d5 and 4s2, so you can remove one electron easily and the second electron also easily from the 4s orbital. Okay, so that's why this is chromium is having ionization energy is means the second ionization energy is more than the manganese. If you consider copper and zinc, copper is having 3d10 4s1 and this is having 3d10 4s2. The similar case is here also. If you remove this, then you have to remove the electron from the second electron from the d orbital, which is completely filled. Whereas in case of zinc, if you are removing one electron, then one more electron is left in the 4s orbital, so it can be easily removed the second. That's why copper is having more second ionization energy as compared to zinc. I hope you have understood this. Okay. So that cases you can see some of the other also. Now next we will do in the next video. So that's all.